as per definition of WHO, it is something else. But for me, it is purely my state of being where I can just enjoy whatever I'm feeling, so that I can work, I can function, I can laugh, I can cry. I think that is mental health for me, because I think it is like the backbone of everything that you do.
Yes.
That is, I've had a few friends of mine who were, struggling, and they do not know how to differentiate between mental and physical health. The feeling of being drowsy or not getting out of bed, right? They feel, yeah, this is some weakness. But bro, this weakness is coming out of here most of the times. Plus, it's okay. I think that's the answer to everything. You've fucked up, it's okay. You failed, it's okay. You've had a breakup, it's okay. Everything, it's okay. But what is not okay is you going into your shell and not talking to anyone about it, and then making a big deal about it, and that, just drowning you. That is not okay. I think the smallest of things make the most biggest impacts. The first thing is acceptance, for that matter, and the more we normalize something, the better it is, the more acceptable it becomes, and it becomes just more easier for everyone to just talk about. That would be the tagline.
It's okay.
But I think the source of inspiration came from my own close group of friends, where we realized that sometimes we've always been the shoulders to each other. We always listen, but at times you feel helpless when you're listening to the other person, but you're not able to solve anything. I mean, I have that issue. I would want to be the person who solves things for my peer group. I want to be the hero in their life, that I solved it. No, I'm going to give you the idea of how to get out of it. But then, there were a couple of situations where I could not do a single thing. And all I could do was listen. And that's when I realized that, being a support is a good thing. But enabling the people, enabling my friends so that they can deal with half of the things themselves would be the best thing. Inspiration always comes from your closest peer groups, right? If you're asking me if I looked at somebody who is a mental health propagator and then that inspired me, not really. I mean, because I listen to a lot of inspirational videos, but then the ones that I listen to, they're generally on some show's track. Piche video is playing for maybe Peaky Blinders and they're giving some life lesson, and I'm truly moved. Or the one movie that really, really moved me was Rocky Balboa. I mean, Sylvester Stallone's career-changing movie. That taught me a lot of things, and that has a bit of mental health also, where he's struggling, right? So in my case, I looked at my peer groups. I thought that it's important to make it. What is the max that will happen? They'll make fun of it. The good thing is that once you've created it and you've just circulated it, outside into the world, you never know who is watching it, right? But the fact that you've put a novel thought into it, if it touches even the single person, I think that's your victory. I think it has always been relevant, but we were not aware. I'll give you the simplest example, that when I was in school, what mental health? I don't know. I used to be very casual about depression. I mean, I used to be like the guy that, bro, I'm so high in life, I don't think I can ever be depressed. Which is definitely wrong, because depression or anxiety or paranoia has nothing to do with, if you're high in life or you're low in life. It sometimes becomes a neurological state also. Yes, everything is connected to your childhood, to your family, to your surroundings, but how you deal with it, how your peer groups help you deal with it, that decides your. In my school times, I mean, I had no idea about mental health, if you're asking me that. um so yeah, I mean, it's good that now schools have counselors. It's good that now, people are able to talk to therapists relatively easily. It's
Yes.
still not enough, but I'm just happy that thanks to, the recent surge, I think the last 3-4 years or for 5 years, ever since, it's like this. If a popular person talks about their own problem, right? For example, Deepika Padukone talked about her depression. So people realize, यार इसको depression हो सकता है, तो हम लोगों को भी तो मतलब हो सकता है ना. And they started to, nitpick and probably, just search on Google and found, oh my God, we're also depressed. Oh my God, I have the same issues of anxiety. You know, half of the things are faked also, but then they started to pay heed to it. So it's important that if we are struggling, and most of us are in any or other way, right? Then we should just simply talk and reach out and, just look for help. Because if ever there is a problem in life, there will be a solution. 5 years ago, I was dating. I was dating somebody who was in depression at some point of time, and I wanted to be supportive, and be more aware that, I don't do anything which can trigger things. So I started reading. That's where it started. It increased in during the lockdown phase. It increased during that time because there was like an analysis where I could draw a pattern that most of my relationships were where people were depressed, and I was trying to get them out of depression. So then I realized that there are ways to deal with it. That's how, I started reading further. And yeah, it was during the lockdown that I read the most about anxieties, about paranoia, about major. Yeah, I mean, correct. That's still relevant. That, social media, to a certain extent, I feel gives you a lot of anxiety because where you kind of see the other person's life as all rosy. That, so I think at times, just by the social media, when we start to compare things, it leads to a peer pressure kind of a scenario. It leads to a comparison, and that's where we automatically take stress. I think your life primarily has, four aspects purely. One is yourself, which includes your relationships with your spouse or your girlfriend. The second is your relationship with your parents. The third is with your friends. And the last is your. And if you are having even two of them in place, you're happy on two fronts, you're a happy person. Now what happens is that when we are looking at the social media or, our groups and this and that, the place where we are lagging, we are only looking at the ones who are doing exceptionally well in that place.
Yeah.
And it gives us complex. That creates problems for us. You are good. You should believe that you are good. You should constantly keep working towards whatever you want. Your hard work should never stop. But then there is also a factor of luck in somebody else's journey. So I think for me, the best way to tackle is that don't compare. Stop comparing. Everyone has got a different journey. Everyone has had different share of setbacks in life. So everything that appears to you, it's just a mirage. It's all a mirage. Stop taking social media seriously. Use it for a greater good if you want to. If you want to help somebody, do that. But social media is not reality. Everyone tries to build an image. Everyone tries to build a brand. And that's the case. So stop taking. I mean, for example, if we talk about India, right, where at current we are saying that the acceptance towards depression or recognition of depression or mental health that somebody is struggling is less, right? So if somebody does not accept it, how will they help, right? I mean, for a person who's going through depression or going through anxiety or paranoia, he is himself or herself not able to process his emotions. How can he or she tell the other person who has got no acceptance? In such a case, it's very important that you find people who are calm, who listen to you, who give you that comfort that you can speak out. Because most of the times, society में ही अगर आपको ये वाले, you get those set of people who are non-encouraging of sharing in your state of depression. It will never help. You will only go in a black hole and then you will end up on medication.
Yeah.
And that's not good. It's important that we as individuals or as the youth, we make sure that our younger, younger generation or our brothers and sisters who are, just going, they know that they can reach out to their own brothers and sisters or their parents.
Agreed.
I think because that's something that has to be dealt within generations, takes generations. If you want to change the mindset of a generation, it will take a generation.
Yeah.
We are the mediators. People who are born between like 88 to 99. We are the mediators. We are the ones who can actually change that.
Yeah.
मतलब जो अभी people who are in their teenage right now, we cannot blame them for anything because they are born in the era where you are literally born with mobile phones in hand. You can Google everything. You don't value the other person because you value the other person for their knowledge, generally, for their views. But you get all those knowledge and views on Google at the tap of a finger or at the tap of a button. Then why would they value anyone else? That we make our youngsters realize the same. Even our generation needs to learn a lot of things. But then the best way to make sure is that our youth is aware about it, that it's okay. Just listen here. That's what therapists also do, no? Listen and analyze and tell you what is going on. But yeah, just start with the basic, that listen. First of all, it's very tough when a person is going through that kind of a phase. You have considered the worst that has happened or the worst that can happen to you. So you already, वो आपने stigma एक create कर दिया. You have already done that. So the first thing that individual can do is accept. हो गया. Shit has happened. The next step is that, now that I have done something stupid, I will have to talk about it. Otherwise, it will keep boiling inside. Who will you talk to? You can only talk to somebody who you are comfortable. You have to find that person. Then, when in the culture where, we keep asking, hey, what's up? All good? Yeah, all good. What is good? You okay? Huh? Oh, okay. What is okay? If you're not okay, say you're not okay. Enough with the fake world. If you're not feeling well, say it. And that will only happen once you've discussed it with somebody you're comfortable with. Then you will start saying that, yeah, you're not comfortable. Yeah, it's very important. And if you feel that, none of your friends or whatever are able to help, then try to make an appointment with a therapist. If you're not comfortable, have somebody else do it for you. And the last is the fear of result. I mean, you should just throw it out. If you're not feeling well, if you're getting some tests done or psychological tests done, don't be afraid of your diagnosis. The process is very simple, that you stop stigmatizing, yourself. You tell yourself that it's okay. You talk to a person, whoever you're comfortable with. Then you start practicing and telling yourself that if somebody's asking me and I'm not okay, I'll say I'm not okay. If all this is also not working, then you talk to a therapist, to a third person who can objectively tell you what's happening. And the last, but the worst, is that you do your bit. Don't worry about the result. When you're talking about the social medias, pros and cons, I think I can tell from a content creator aspect that, when you are on social media and you are talking about mental health, it is also important that what you teach, you follow in your life. I should not be living in a hypocritical world where I tell something to somebody else and I don't follow myself. That's one basic learning. The other thing is that I should not take a lot of pressure of creating content, because at the end of the day, social media is all about pressure. There are some people who are organically good, who are able to create funny things, and people follow them and love them and whatnot. I'm doing it out of my happiness. I will do this till the time I am being happy by doing this, or till the time it's making me happy. The day is going to start giving me stress, which it does at times. That's when I know that, okay, I need to just chill now. You always love to help. It is basic, that you would always want, you being the most helpful person ever, you would want to help the other person, but not at the expense of your own discomfort or pain. That you only do in your family case. Friends wale case mein bhi there are very limited people where you do this, right? So that's basic human nature. Now, when it comes to social media, I think generally content creators take that on their head and then struggle with it. I think that's something that is a con. But the pro is that as a content creator, when you see that even a single person is getting affected and you're able to help, I think that's one of the most beautiful feelings. That you said, listen, that's very important. Just be there, in order to, it's like, if you want to create a safe space, you want to make sure that the other person does not feel that they are going to be exploited, they're going to be judged, they are going to have any kind of a repercussion about it. Because at the end of the day, the biggest problem that we face, for example, if I'm sitting in front of you, is the fear of judgment. That, oh my God, my hair are not, in the best way. Oh yeah, they might just feel this or that and whatnot. The moment you keep that pressure that you're going to be judged, you cannot talk. Your friend or family or whoever, make sure that you provide an environment where you explicitly call it out that there is no judgment,
Yeah.
that we are going to be objective about it, that there has been a problem, we want to look at the solution. Whatever has happened, we cannot change that, and ensure that we have a more practical approach of solving that thing, whatever is the problem. Then the second thing is that you will have to listen, you will have to be calm, you will have to be patient. And last, I think, would be that empathize. Yeah, you will have to empathize. You will have to, we should empathize in life.